to Clobber on Clobbering Times. Like and share, I'll be back.
It's clobbering time!
Clobbering Time!
Yeah. Whoa, man. A big round of applause to the great Stone Loki, my amazing guest and good pal, for that incredible intro. Buddy, dude, you've outdone yourself there, man. It's fantastic. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I'm absolutely, dude. I've been giddy to do the show with you. I'm not used to like, oh well, we'll do one month and we'll do one the next month, and I've been like, okay, let's get to it. World's finest.
Hell yeah, man.
World's finest. Let's get to world's finest. And I was excited. So I was like, you know what? I've got to come up with a kick-ass intro for this.
You did, sir. You did.
Thank
and
you.
I absolutely love it, man. Great stuff. Oh, my goodness. Look at we'll say some hellos. I'll do some show notes, and we will get down to business. Who is here? Heiress of Chaos, my little sister. It is great to see you. Big congrats out to you for your 500 plus subs, and there will, of course, many more to come rapidly. We know it. So great to see you. Luis X Sparrow. Hello there. The beautiful, wonderful, magnificent Purple Valkyrie Purple. I had a fantastic time hanging out with you last night. It was so much fun. Thank you so much. It was a mix-up. Because I don't like to bug her. She's up so late, because of her, the hour differences. And so unless I have a specific, like a topic or anything, I don't like to and tell her in advance so she'll know. I don't usually bug her, but I used the wrong, like a thumbnail or something, had one from an older one, had her on there. And I just felt like, because see, I'm of two minds of it, Loki, like Two-Face. I love having her on, so anytime chance to get her on here, I love having her on. But I feel bad because it's so late there. But she came on like a trooper there and hung out with me. I felt embarrassed because I didn't know that I put that out there like that. But I'm glad she saw it, and I'm glad she came on and hung out because it was a terrific evening. It was a lot of fun. Mark D with the C joined us a little bit later, and it was a blast. And I love you, Purple. Thank you so much for that. It was so much fun. And the great Chris Persia is absolutely right when he says, wow, look all these great ladies that are here. 3 ladies in a row. That's amazing.
Hell yes. So, isn't that what it's all about, having a good time? Isn't that what it's all about, talking about the things we love and having a good time?
Absolutely. That's what I'm for. That's what I'm here for. Always here for that. And, yes, but speaking of cool chaps, the great Stuart Mitchell is here. As always, we remind everyone, Stuart, Dolly had braces.
Dolly had braces.
Never forget that Dolly had braces, folks.
We shall never forget Dolly had braces. Yes.
Never forget. Oh, my goodness. Yes, a trinity of terrificness indeed, Sir Chris Persia. Who else is here? Let's see here. Kalel Buddy, good to see you, man. Always a pleasure. Keely Chow, an insincere roll tide to you because your tide is going to destroy my garbage tigers this year and this Sunday, Saturday, and so I'm already I'm not bitter about it because I don't care anymore, but I still have to give you an insincere roll tide. But don't worry, they will roll the living crap out of LSU this, like they do everyone else this Saturday. You are going to have a wonderful Saturday, I predict.
The tide is rolling. Yes,
it is. They always do. Don't you hate that? Unless you're a Tide fan, they're worse than the Patriots when it was Belichick and Brady, because it was so insufferable. They just win. And Saban's worse. And of course, Saban was given to us by Belichick. By the way, he was a Belichick disciple. So yeah, he is terrible. Actually, he's really good at it. We hate him here, of course. Let's see here. JPLRPH John, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here. The great Eric K, the Bronze Surfer. What's up, brother? That intro, Dave Rayburn. What's up, man? My cousin. Good to see you, brother. That intro was specifically done for tonight. Dave.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
But I'll probably keep it on there and just watch it every now and then just because I love it so much. Let's see here. I think we got everybody at the moment. Anyone else? Hello, Sherry, another lady. Oh man, this is ladies' night, man. I love it.
It is. So many lovely ladies here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Hungry Boy. Have you seen? Hungry Boy made something for me as well. That we for a while there on Saturday Night Star Trek. I guess you know what a Zamboni is because I did.
Yes.
Well, we always had this joke. Raquel created this running joke about the poop Zamboni because for a really crappy episode or whatever. And so he made for me the Clawboni. The
Clawboni, yeah!
He put up all the crap like Birds of Nay and Star Trek and Charlie's Angles and, what a great artist, though. And yeah, see?
I love that.
Bat Twinkle. We love the Clawboni, buddy. Hungry Boy is a good pal. Dude, I really appreciate you. You've become a real good friend of the show, bro. Appreciate you there. Let's see here. I'm okay. Now just a couple of quick show notes and we will get into it, sirs. As soon as I make sure I get current on my chat. Okay, coming up tomorrow night, folks. That's when this week kicks into high gear because I've streamed every night and double in some cases. Tomorrow night, Eternals week begins with reviewing Kirby's. Yeah, but tomorrow night will be good because we're reviewing Kirby's run on Eternals. Okay,
all right.
All 19 issues, all glorious 19 issues in one annual. My great buddy Mark D with the C, and maybe even Nicholas Weiser might join me. We're all reading it now, reading up on it, and it's been like 40-something years, so it's like new, and I'm just really enjoying it, dreading but enjoying that.
Oh yeah.
And then Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Global Geek Gang Show gather. I don't know what we'll gather on, but we'll gather on something. Then after that, both Mark and I are going to suffer through a movie, Marvel Studios movie. You can probably only guess what the name of it is. I'm not going to say it because you already know. And then we'll come back for the late night show every Thursday night. We do a Thursday nighter now, Loki. Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark D and myself. It's like a three. We talk so much. The three of us talk so much behind the scenes for the longest time. We said, well, we should do this. Let's start a new show and where we can just talk to our audience and cover various things, just the three of us. We're having so much fun with that. It's really great. We're really loving it. It'll be an hour later than usual, though, folks, because Mark D and I have some suffering to do. And then a special Friday night clobbering times at a special time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh boy, the proper review of Marvel Studios Eternals. Mark D will join me, perhaps Nick Weiser, and of course the great J-Man and his buddy Sean. J-Man's a really cool dude with a fun channel because he's like us. He loves to have fun. He loves comics, and I've had him on before, and I've been on his channel. He's a real nice dude, and if you guys should go, there's a link in my description below. Please go subscribe to him. J-Man is good people. We really love those guys.
So you're gonna go watch that movie?
Yes, I am. I'm doing it for Jack. Someone needs to. I want to compare it to. I want to see. I don't want to see.
If you are willing to suffer through that movie, I might be willing to suffer through it myself. And I'm not going to review it. I'm not going to review it, but I might drop by if you have room on Friday.
Oh, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. You're always welcome. And here's the thing: what because I've gotten really sick of people saying stuff like, "Well, you can't really compare it to Kirby's." Why not? Yes, you can, because they're the ones. They started this whole thing because they wanted a response to DC doing New Gods, which got nuked, which ended up in production hell and got canned. But that was the whole reason they did Eternals. And it's not going to be any Kirby in there. But I'll watch it, and I always say about this kind of stuff, Loki. If there's anything, if I have anything good to say about it, no matter how much it hurts, I will say it.
Well, they say the same thing about Zedenya playing Mary Jane. Well, you can't compare her to the Mary Jane because she's not Mary Jane. She's MJ. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Well, she's not Mary Jane. She's MJ.
MJ.
Okay, yeah. You dumb sons of bitches. MJ was Mary Jane. Just because her name's not Mary Jane Watson does not mean that she's not MJ. If she's MJ, she's still MJ. And that's not MJ. So, yeah, it's the same argument I've heard.
Yeah, it is.
You can't compare the two.
You can't rip something off or adapt something. Anytime you adapt something, okay, I won't even say rip off. I'll say adapt. When you adapt something, you're going to be held. If you can't have your cake and eat it too. You better be ready to be held to a standard of the thing you're adapting. I don't care what it is. Yes. And when people say, "Well, you can't really compare it to the book," or the book, you can't really compare this movie that we're doing to the book, or what have you, I'm like, well, why not? Who says I can't? That's exactly what I'm going to freaking do.
That's right.
And I'm going to judge it by that because see, this is 2021, dude. They have the ability easily. CGI. They misuse CGI so often. How about putting it to good use once, and use that CGI to make it look pure Kirby? You could do it. It can be done. They're choosing not to, but it could be done.
That's right. And they did the same. They did the exact same thing with Star Wars, Clobby. They did the exact same thing with Star Wars. They said, well, this is a new story. The Skywalker saga. Yeah, I'll kiss my ass. New story. This is about new people. But we're going to throw old people at you left and right and then call it the Skywalker saga because, special.
Right. And they're just going to sit there and they're going to do all these gender swaps and all this other crap that they're doing to Eternals. And I know that a lot of people will say, well, they're really basing it more on the Gaiman. Well, the Gaiman didn't create them, okay? Nobody else did but Jack. And so, I'm going to go in there and it's, boy. I'm going to do it, though. Maybe I'll pay. I was thinking about actually paying to go. If I could now, it's tricky to do this in some theaters. Pay for something else and then sneak, go and sneak into the in there and watch it.
Yep, and I don't blame you. It'll be down on Theater 22, sir. Oh, it'll be closer than that. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
The last time I looked at just seating of the theaters near here. I mean, well, there may be a little bit more now, but the other day when I looked, there was almost nobody booked in any of the theaters that sold very few tickets. Mark checked, and there are a few where he is. They've sold some tickets, but still not a lot. Hey, your Muslim uncle. Good to see you, buddy. I hope you are doing well. You and your family are all doing well, my friend. Just Joe Jobber, what's up, bro? Anyway, so those are the show notes. Obviously, also Saturday Night Star Trek. Just say you got lost. Insert name here. I've never seen you before, but good to see you and welcome to Clobbering Times. Hello there. So, Loki, there's this little thing called, a while back, Loki had contacted me, my friends, and he thought it would be a good idea and Spinnerette Time Machine video opens up, the new one for November 71 debuts tomorrow, everyone. I forgot to tell everyone that. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. And you said you thought it would be fun to review DC animated films.
Yeah, I was like, man, let's get together and let's talk about the God, I'm blanking on the name of the movie. The Batman movie we reviewed last month.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm. I don't know. I was thinking Phantom Pain. I've got Metal Gear on the brain. Yeah, Mask of the Phantasm. I was like, man, I would love to review Mask of the Phantasm with you. And I would love to review World's Finest. And I would love to review Batman, Superman, Public Enemy. And all of these. Yeah, all these good movies, man. And I miss talking about good good comic books. We did so much trash talking on the Comic Book Roundtable for so long. I want to talk about good stuff, and I've got like the entire animated collection now. So let's talk about good shit. Let's talk about good DC animated movies. We had that great first part to Long Halloween, even though there were some minuses in it. It was really good, and then we got dumped on that the second part. It was like, guys, what happened? What did you do?
Awful.
Oh well, we climbed up Catwoman's ass because we could. So
terrible.
let's talk good.
Terrible.
Let's talk good comic book movies. This is one of the best comic book movies ever made, in my opinion.
Oh, Mask of the Phantasm? Oh yeah.
No,
or
this World's Finest.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, found the retro blasting. Oh, that's cool. Insert name here. I love my retro blasting friends, specifically the Pride of the X-Men video. Oh, well, thank you so much. It's great to see you. I appreciate it. And I love Michael and Melinda. They're great friends at Retro Blasting there, and I links to their channel below for anyone who's not seen it. Amazing channel. But yeah, Mask of the Phantasm is wonderful, of course, and this, I guess I thought this would be the logical progression because I didn't really think Sub-Zero was all that great, really. Also, here's the thing. I totally with you. We should talk about things we love. But the last 10 years of DC animated movies, I don't love very much.
Yeah, I get
that. They started, but there are a lot of them that I do. And yeah, Public Enemies. You want to do that next, by the way?
Oh, I would love to do Public Enemies next. That's next. The tag teaming that Batman and Superman do on that rogues gallery of villains is just, it's beautiful. You got Superman come down and he sets fire to the field with heat vision, and Batman's jumping around freezing people with freeze bombs, all kinds of shit. It was really just good. Epic.
Yeah, I really like that. So if we'll do that one next, then yes, Purple. Well, even though this was compiled 3 episodes of Superman the Animated Series, before that it ran as a TV special, though.
Yes,
when Batman came out, and they've even done like a special like DVDs of it as a sort of movieized. But yes, it is. It was meant to eventually, after that, blend into Superman the Animated Series.
I've got a copy. I've got an old DVD that actually says Batman Superman Animated Movie.
Yes, it was
the animated movie, and that's all they call it. They don't call it World's Finest. They just call it the animated movie. Batman Superman, the animated movie.
Oh yeah, and it's again this thing. Now I have some criticisms of it, but I remember when it first came out, and this was around the time I think Batman the Animated Series was either entering or getting done with its 4th and final season.
Yeah, it was. They were wrapping up. They were wrapping up with the 4th season. Superman was in its 2nd season, and then we got this right in the middle of the 2nd season of Superman, just as Batman was wrapping up on its last season.
Yeah,
and it was like, let's bring them together. Yes, and they did. Dude, you got Kevin Conroy back as Bruce Wayne. You got Mark Hamill as the Joker. You got Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. You got Tim Daly as Clark Kent. Dana Delaney comes back and plays Lois Lane. She played what's her name?
Andrea Beaumont.
Andrea Beaumont in Mask of the Phantasm. And she comes back as Lois Lane and is playing Arlene Sorkin again as Harleen Quinn, Mr. J. And it's great. Lisa Edelstein as Mercy, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon. You've got all these people coming back, and all these people from Superman, and it's awesome. You've just got this great voice talent that comes in and nails this, and they come back. Ladies and gentlemen, these people will return. This isn't the only time you're going to see Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy do a movie together. I absolutely love it. True. And I love Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. We're going to get Clancy Brown back in Public Enemy. And he plays a crazy Lex Luthor.
Oh, he's great as Lex Luthor. And you also have I always forget who does the voice of Turpin. But I always love my boy Turpin from Superman the Animated Series. You know how Harvey Bullock is in Commissioner Gordon, or the cop, or are Batman's contact. Well, Turpin
Yes.
is in this, and that's Turpin is a nod to Jack Kirby. He looks exactly like him on Superman the Animated Series, and it's what he's of course intended. He was intended to be, and is, and so I always thought that was funny that, and he was in this one as well. Everybody makes it into this one.
Everybody, yeah, everybody.
Even
Bullock's in this. Perry White, Turpin, like Clobby was saying, Alfred. Everyone's in this.
yeah. And again, it's really, really good.
Bibbo's in this too. You're like, holy shit, it's Bibbo.
Oh man, but yeah, I do love it. And the thing is, what the hell? There were we could just start out kind of at the beginning there. It opens up, for those who do not know, is in Gotham City. The Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill. This thing, by the way, was written by well-known comic book scribe and creator of Howard the Duck, Steve Gerber. Which there were a lot of comic writers would write for these animated Superman and Batman animated series from time to time. Opens up in Gotham City. The Joker steals from I guess some kind of dealer. A dragon that looks sort of like the thing you have on your avatar.
Yeah, the green dragon, the emerald dragon.
Yep, emerald dragon thingy. That of course, it's pretty much obvious that it's kryptonite.
Yes, it's not emerald. It is kryptonite.
Right, and again, because hello comics relief crusader, good to see you. Something that really always kind of sticks out to me, the little things when you love Batman. For example, that horrific thing in Batman Long Halloween, where so-called Batman actually utters the phrase, when I started this, I never thought I'd have to be a detective. And then you got all the Batman movies. Usually every time Batman is strayed out of comics or animated, these idiots just make him just a guy running around beating up people in the costume. Well, yes. Automatically open up with Batman getting the little piece of kryptonite and examining it and figuring out what it is immediately. He doesn't even say it. He just says, doesn't Bruce Wayne due for a trip to Metropolis? Because Batman is a detective and a genius. And idiots who write him in these movies. I know Sparkle Batboy won't be smart either. They're never smart. You never see the detective side of Batman, or very little in these movies. First movie, the first Burton film, they did it a little bit.
They're trying to make him look dark and edgy in that trailer, that new Batman trailer, and with the car flying through the fire and all this shit. But when you see him beat on that one guy and he's like,
so stupid.
Oh, that is not Batman.
He looks like Kylo Ren.
That is, having a tantrum. That's not Batman.
Sucks. That guy's not Batman. Sparkle Boy's not Batman, folks. And Matthew Reeves is an idiot, and the cast sucks. Screw them all. That movie. Look, I love many, many other YouTubers, of course. I'm just saying, even some that I dearly love have said that trailer looks good. And if you think it looks good, God bless you. But I don't understand how anyone thinks that trailer looked good. I think it looked awful.
Jeff, the only person in that cast that I like, because I don't even really like Colin Farrell. I'm kind of like, Andy Serkis looks great. But we're used to seeing him in like CGI roles. Jeffrey Wright, though, I do not mind that Jeffrey Wright is James Gordon, as long as he acts like Gordon and talks like Gordon, which I really believe, because he is a method actor. He's one of those actors that's like, no, I'm going to completely get into the role. I think Jeffrey Wright can play Gordon. I really do.
I'm not fond of it. I'm not really fond of it personally, but it doesn't matter because the movie means nothing to me. But go ahead.
But I mean, that's like the one thing I'm kind of interested in. Besides that, seeing Batman have like a spaz attack while he's beating someone, especially in front of a group of people. Okay, so there's like 20 bad guys surrounding him, and he has a fit. He has a screaming bitch fit while he's beating someone, and they just stand there and watch. Kiss my ass. No, that's not what happens. You swarm him.
Right.
You swarm him. You don't stand there and like and freak out while he's like, Ree! No, you beat the holy living hell out of him.
Yeah, and I'm really not interested in seeing Batman with an Iron Man armor that bullets bounce off of either. Impact absorbent Iron Man armor on Batboy doesn't interest me. Look, granted, and you could laugh at a lot of stuff in this World's Finest, for example, nobody could shoot, and It's like the Batman has. He may as well have a force field because bullets are. I mean, these guys could have killed him 50,000 times in this one. But you know what? I don't care. It's Batman. Batman avoids. He avoids bullets. He doesn't walk into them like in this stupid trailer. Hello there. What's up, Michael Beacom? Good to see you, buddy. You know, he avoids bullets. That's what Batman. It's part of Batman's charm. You know, bullets are supposed to bounce off of Superman, not Batman.
That's right.
And so that's crap. And the whole thing, but on this one, okay, we open up. You know, when we get to Gotham, I think there are a few things you could kind of probably criticize about this episode. For once, the Bruce Lois thing, it's different. It's revolutionary. I don't mind it, but in a day and a half, they're already wanting to get married.
Oh yeah,
that's a bit much.
And he's completely playing a part. This isn't like, oh my God, I want to be with her for the rest of my life. He's supposed to be playing a part, and it's a little too believable. You're right. It is. It's a little too believable.
Well, they both fall in love after one date. I mean, I understand it's a TV show, or in this case, a cartoon, but I think it was a bit much. Again, I love the thing, but I'm just saying, I think that was a bit much.
Do you agree, though, that was a very much like snooze you lose Clark moment? Even though it would have never happened.
It doesn't fit in any comics continuity that I've ever seen, but I mean, yes. Yeah, it kind of, if nothing else, I would have probably liked it better if she was doing it to light a fire under Superman's ass.
Yeah.
And mess around with him. Say, here you go, just run around with the richest guy on the planet if you're not gonna pay attention. And I wouldn't blame him because blame her really for doing that way. Automatically just starts going out with Bruce. Oliver, hello there.
But if they hadn't have done that, we would have never got that great scene because Superman peeks under the hood, and he's like, "You peeked." And sees that it's Bruce Wayne. You peeked, and of course Batman's like, "You peeked," and then Clark's out, and he gets him back. Like Clark looks out the window, looks out the window and sees Batman on like what building with glasses, and he's like, "Yep, I see you, son of a bitch."
Touche, buddy. That was not only is that a great scene. Let's face it, it's true that this thing that started kind of in the 90s with this movement of the Bat Bros, as they say, did go a little bit too far in some ways. But we still have, all of us who love Batman have a little Bat Bro in us, in the sense that you want to see Batman do something really friggin' cool. Even though I love Superman, maybe arguably even more than I love Batman, and that's saying something, because to me, other than the Thing, those are my two favorite characters of all time, but of comic book characters. But for Batman to throw Superman, that scene is, he just grabs him by the shoulder and he throws Superman across the room.
The Aikido move. Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing about that, not to get too far off the track, but for those who've read the Legion of Superheroes, there's a character in there called Karate Kid. And that's actually, it's kind of a silly name because and they might even make movies about it one day. Oh, they did. And they had to pay DC. But anyway, Karate Kid tries to get into the Legion. And you have to have a superpower to get into the Legion. And they're asking, well, you don't have any superpowers. You know martial arts and stuff. You can't. We got people who can fly, who can blast mountains with their energy beams, and we got Superboy and Mon-El. What can you do? And so Superboy's kind of, they're being nice, but they're kind of laughing at him. And Karate Kid, Val Armour, throws Superboy, and they were like, wow, if you could get the drop on Superboy, who could move. That one can move planets. And it was later talked about in lore. So, is there anyone who could give Batman a fight in the DC universe without superpowers? And it's always been mentioned, probably Karate Kid and a couple of others. So I was like, that's almost a throwback to who can throw Superman, catch him off guard to throw him. Only Batman.
Only Batman. And he didn't need to be superpowered. He didn't need to be superpowered. That's
only those two
not to bring up something that is kind of out of phase here, but I always hated injustice that Batman had to take a pill to fight Superman.
Zach,
literally,
what's up, buddy?
Batman had to take a pill that gave him super strength so he could fight Superman,
or put on a suit.
Well, the suit thing, I can get that. I can get that. The kryptonite suit thing, I can get that. Fight him with a metal, like a indestructible suit with kryptonite. Okay, that's one thing. But taking a pill, he has to take a pill. And he does. He takes this like kryptonite technology nanite pill that makes him super strong. That's bullshit. Batman wouldn't do that. Batman wouldn't take a pill to fight Superman. He'd find a way. That's the easy.
Yeah, well, he knew. That's why he uses tricks. He knows he's not strong enough. Now, Batman, Michael Beacom, you raised something that I guess should be addressed again, since we're talking about the world's finest team, Superman and Batman. Last month, I did a show all about world's finest. I mean, the comic books, of course. And I love that they're buddies, that they're friends. I don't agree with this basic premise that you have. As a kid, Superman irritated the hell out of me. You have to slap him with an asteroid just to get his attention. Yawn. Batman can be killed with a gun. Actually, Batman can be killed with a gun, because in this episode, in fact, they're shooting at him 50 times and the bullets just run around him. I love him. I'm just saying. But you're right. He can be killed. But I'm saying no one can hit Batman. But here's the problem. I never cared much for the Superman is overpowered argument. Because this is a confession time for Superman the Animated Series. Eric K with a $2 super chat. Super Surfer could throw Superman. Well, yes. I'm talking about people without superpowers. I'm talking about, but thank you, Eric K, for that. The Bronze Surfer. Okay. As you know, I hate John Byrne's terrible relaunch of Superman from 1986. Yes. As you also know, because of that, I didn't like an era that you were very fond of during the Death of Superman and all that kind of stuff. That's not my Superman. Depowering him and changing his origin and all that stuff, I really hate that Byrne did that. So, when this show came along, as you know, I already loved Batman the Animated Series. I hated this show at first. And the reason why I hated it is because Bruce Timm had said that, he didn't want Superman to be too powerful. Now, he based the artwork of Batman and the Superman Animated Series sort of like sort of a throwback to the Fleischer cartoons of the 40s, which is, that style, which is fine. If you watch it took me almost 20 years to go back and watch this cartoon. Now, I love it, but there are episodes where Superman's like an invalid. He gets the shit kicked out of him all the time. He gets beat up by robots frequently. He gets beat up by like live wire. If the slightest bit of electricity sends him into a crying. I just hate You can make the case he could be too powerful, but they went in the opposite direction. And he's not. I remember an anecdote back when we used to complain about him being nowhere near powerful enough on that show. A friend of mine said, "Yeah, I was watching it. This was like back when it was first coming on." He said, "I'm watching that show one day. It was an episode of Superman the Animated Series." And he said, "My dad walks through the room and he's read comics as a kid. He's like the Christopher Reeve movies and stuff. And Superman's getting the shit kicked out of him. He's saying, 'Whoa, does somebody use kryptonite on Superman?' He says, 'No, Dad. He's always getting the crap kicked out of him on this show.'" And he does.
Yes.
It took me. I had to get over that, dude. And about 4 years ago, I went back and watched all of it. And even though I still hate a lot of that, I do love the show now. Just so you know, I'm being fair to the show. I just don't. It took getting used to me. Superman getting his ass handed to him every episode does get old for me.
The problem was in the late 80s and in the 90s, he was the indestructible Boy Scout. And he'd been that way for a long time. And I remember reading about how the team, when they were going into Death of Superman to kill him, had talked about like, look, this is the Boy Scout. This is the guy he's never hurt. He's never gonna die. He's indestructible. He's the Man of Steel, and we're gonna kill him. And everybody was kind of like, "Are you serious? How are you going to do that?" And he goes, "Well, we're going to come out with a monster that's so fucking powerful that it's going to kill him." And the idea was then and afterwards, try and make him more vulnerable. And they overdid that. And that conversation that I read was all about how do we bring him back but make him more vulnerable and make him. And they actually toyed around with the idea of making him not able to absorb energy anymore. And there was going to be this ninja-like Superman in a black suit with a silver shield. And I love that look. I just got a Superman animated series action figure with the black suit and the silver. But the idea was to have him have like ninja stars underneath the S shield and a sword and all this, make him like fucking Blade. Superman like Blade with no superpowers. That's not Superman. And there are times in that series, like you were talking about, where he is just getting the ever-loving shit kicked out of him. And you're like, that's not Superman.
So much so that Alex Ross talked to Bruce Timm about it when the Justice League show came on. He said, would you please stop Superman getting the crap kicked out of him?
Yes.
It's annoying. Alex Ross did that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I agree. Yes, they did. He did. And they had to change the way they did stuff in Justice League because he's not constantly getting his ass kicked. He's not. You got to stop that. He wouldn't constantly be getting his ass kicked.
Not by electricity, like a little tingle of electricity. Goes,
no.
You know,
no. Magic can do that to him.
Sure.
If it was magic electricity, if it was some wizard shooting lightning bolts at his ass, maybe, but not just regular electricity. He would just stand there and be like smoking. The little dust off the cape, smoking.
I'll address these questions here quickly. Zach's real question: how much does Superman weigh? Well, according to him, about 225. If you listen to Christopher Reeve from the first movie, and but I don't know. Let's see. Here's another one. I'm curious if a Kryptonian's body is more dense. According to Jarrell again, and yes, it is. Although later they went with the humans, like the living solar battery thing, to give him an excuse for his powers, a la John Byrne.
The radiation.
Or the sun, actually.
Yeah.
It's the solar storing energy. I remember Joker's famous quote in three-part World's Finest Cartoon. We have incoming bats and Flyboy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, and this anyway, this is still, I get my only complaints. Well, look, Steve Garber got a little they have some contrivances in the writing. Again, the Lois and Bruce thing, a little bit much, them falling in love that quickly. I'm laughing at how Batman got shot at 1,000,000 times, more than the Elsa, and the bullets just like disappear or something.
Well, he gets shot in the 89 movie, doesn't he? He gets shot and they're like, he's human after all.
On the chest plate, but on the animated series, I mean, usually, yes, he's avoiding bullets and stuff like that. This one, he's walking right into bullets and they're missing, and it's kind of funny. Again, that's just me joking around. I love the show, don't get me wrong. I love this episode. But there was also one other problem with, because of the Lois Bruce thing, when he's in the Daily Planet fighting that robot, and it just conveniently takes his cowl off. I'm like, oh, come on, that never happens to Batman.
No.
Minor fanboy complaint, everyone. We'll backtrack and go to the first part. I just want to say that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's the stuff between Joker and Lex is really funny. And between Harley and Mercy, that's funny stuff. Yeah,
it's the two villains with their two sidekicks.
Yep, very much
it's
alike.
Beautiful. I love it. I love that.
Catman, what's up, buddy? AKA Dee Dee Myers. Yeah, and like you said, Clancy Brown is just terrific. And Mark Hamill, weed whacker though he is in real life, that's a great pairing. You couldn't have asked for a better way to introduce these characters to each other. I think I get the impression that Batman the Animated Series, was just intended to be one. And when it got a little bit popular, then they started later, they got a chance to do Superman. So basically it's like Batman is the first guy within, in an animated series, first 3 seasons, there's Batman in Gotham with supervillains, but none of the crazy stuff that they added on later with Superman and his lore, and then the Justice League, and then all of a sudden you have a big DC universe there.
No, it was just Batman kicking ass in the beginning. It was just Batman kicking ass in the beginning.
But they kind of, retconned it to where the DC universe had super beings all along.
Yeah.
Which is fine. There's a great episode of the Superman animated series. I know you know which one I'm talking about, where Batman's missing and Superman dresses up as Batman and teams up with Timmy Drake to find him. I'm sure you've seen that one.
Yes. Oliver Belmont says Harley Quinn calls Lex Mr. L. Mr. L.
She did. Oh, man. I think it could have been 4 parts. I mean, I think it could have even made it longer.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
would love it.
definitely.
I would love that.
Definitely, they could have definitely made it longer. They could have definitely added more story to it. But what did we get? We got a really good animated film. Lois has her own part in this, and Lois is always Lois. Harley is here, and it's the real Harley. It's not the fake ass bullshit Harley we've got today. It's the real Harley. The
Real deal
bitch is
Harley.
crazy. She's a villain. Let Harley be a villain. Can we please have Harley back as a villain? Please, pretty please, DC Comics.
They
Can
don't
we
believe
get-
in villains anymore.
Oh, that's horseshit. We need Harley back as a villain. We need our characters to be the characters that we fell in love with. I didn't fall in love with a bleach blonde, red and blue, dyed haired coke sniffer that's in Birds of Prey. I'm sorry, I didn't. When she's in that scene in the jail and she's like, awesome. She didn't need shit like that to be a crazy ass, insane chick.
No.
She just was. Let Harley be Harley again, please. Let your characters be who they are. Stop fucking with them.
Absolutely. I love that. Again, I love that Harley. Put it like this. That's the only Harley for me anyway. But I never really, when I started loving Harley, because this movie was made right around either in the middle of or after Batman Animated Series Season 4. And you can tell because of Batman's costume and the Joker, which they redesigned the Joker. He's almost green and he has weird black eyes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I always thought that was kind of crazy. But, and even Harley looks kind of green. They did some crazy stuff with the designs in the 4th season. But anyway, Harley, when she
got that boomerang hair. Joker had that boomerang hair.
Yeah, that
all
crazy
of a sudden.
nose.
Yes.
But still, the show's good. I'm just saying I love Batman's costume. But they did some things in that 4th season I was kind of up and down about. But you had, let's see here. I'm trying to think. Where was I going? I hate when that happens to me. I always forget. But a lot of the designs were okay. But Harley. Okay, Harley. I thought she was just in her first few episodes. I was like, she's kind of annoying but funny, but I didn't really care about her one way or the other. And then Mad Love came out as a comic book before it came. It was an episode, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone knows that. But not just that. Harlequinade was there are a couple of other episodes. Mad Love, the comic and the episode. Harlequinade, and then what was the one about Harley's Holiday?
With the one with Poison Ivy.
There were a couple other Poison Ivy ones. No, this was the one where she got out and she tried to go straight and she had a bad day.
Yes.
I don't know if Poison Ivy was in that one or not, but that was
the one with Poison Ivy I'm thinking of was the one with the rocket launcher, where Harley pulls out the rocket launcher and blows up that car of kids because they're messing with her. I would love the Poison Ivy Harley Quinn episode. Absolutely love it.
I like those, but I think the keys, thank you, Purple. Harley's Holiday, Mad Love, and Harlequinade. Because Harlequinade was the one where she was fighting with the Joker and trying to kill him, remember? And they were having a lover spat. Those 3 are like the ultimate Harley trilogy. If you think of those episodes. And of course, in this one, she gets a lot to do. It's really hilarious to fight with Mercy. And she, poor old Mercy in this one, huh?
Yeah, poor old Mercy. Especially having to deal with Joker and Harley.
Yep, a lot of fun. Let's see. Michael Beacom says. Let's see what he said. Oh, how this thing jumps on there, man. Loki, I have a friend who starts every other sentence with, "Have you seen the Harley Quinn animated series?" Yeah, ew. This one. This is the one. Pay cable.
No,
it's garbage. It was on that. Yeah. It was on the DC app. Yes. I hate that show.
It was on the DC app. Me and Clobby saw the preview for that at DC Fandom, and I was just like, no, that's not Harley. It's not Harley. The Harley we have in this, it's not Batman either. The Harley we have in this is OG Harley. This is real Harley. This is what Harley should be.
That thing has horrible ultra violence and cussing, and this is on the DC app. And the art and animation look like a standard cartoon, right? And I'm not trying to be a prude here. But I'm sorry. I could just, 8-year-olds are going to watch that thinking it's a cartoon. Parents are going to let them watch a Batman cartoon, and they're saying "fuck it," all this kind of shit. They got blood and heads being chopped off and sex jokes and stuff. I'm like, DC Comics, you have lost your goddamn mind.
Yep.
You are pathetic. I mean, I can see that little Johnny of 9 years old. Mommy, can I watch the Batman cartoon? It's on my phone. Oh, sure, sweetheart. And she's here, fuck, and all this shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
You know what I love about Mad Love? It's not any of the things you would think. It's that Harley gets one up on Joker. Or not Joker, but Batman. Harley captured, and Joker. And she's like, look what I did. And he fucking nails her as hard as he can. And she's like, what did I do? He's like, you screwed it up. You know, he's pissed. Joker is pissed because she did what he couldn't. And like Batman tells her after that, or Batman tells Joker, he's like, it must really burn your ass that she had me. I was done. I was upside down. I didn't have my utility belt where I could get to it. She had me. And you've never come that close. That must really piss you off.
She got closer than you ever did.
I love it.
The only chance I had was to get her to call you.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
Oh, but that was a comic. By the way, there's a scene in the comic book that they could not put on a cartoon. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
What was it? Because I know I've read that comic.
It was a one-shot special called Mad Love. And there's a scene where Harley, she's talking about her life, and in her school, and you know when how she got far as in medical and whatever her, in college.
Yeah,
she performs a certain thing on a professor.
Oh no shit! I don't remember that
in the comic book, but of course,
I know the backstory about her and her dad, and that's what got her. That's what like flipped her when it came to Joker, because he's like, my dad hated me. It was all about my dad, and she's like, oh my god, I know exactly what you mean.
My dad favored the grape.
Yeah,
that was great. What did he get you with? The old abusive father. He's one of a lot of people with that one. Oh, God, it was so.
But that's because her dad was such a shit to her. That's how he did it. He used he knew exactly what to say to her to get her to flip. He knew exactly what to say to her to get her to flip. Play the dad card. My dad beat me. My dad was horrible to me. Why? Because she's got daddy issues. She's one of those. He knew the second he saw her exactly how to play her.
And it's so true, Purple. Arlene is perfect. And again, that's what's great a lot about this, Batman animated series and some of these other things. And I agree with you, Jobber, by the way. 4th season, I hated the way the Riddler looked. I hated the redesigns of all the characters. I don't know what was wrong with them. I still love the show. I just hated that. I love Batman's costume, though.
Didn't they hate that look originally? It was somebody in there hated the original.
Tim says he can't watch the old episodes, and I just don't agree.
That's bullshit. That's such bullshit.
But he's just. I mean, look, but you know what? He can get a pass in a sense because he made the show. People are their own worst critic. I mean, if you made something and everyone loves it, you just go. You might be tending to go. I just wish I'd have done this and that and that. So I don't agree with him. I think he's wrong. Actually, that was a great line, though.
Yes.
But it was also a great line in this at the end when they think the Joker's blown up. God knows how he got out of that one. When she says, Puddin', he goes, at this point, he probably is.
Yes. At this point, he probably is.
At this point, he probably is. Only topped by Mad Love when he says, she got closer than you ever did. Puddin'. Batman, that rare sense of humor. But, one thing I like about this is, yes, Batman and Superman are adversarial. I've talked about this a lot. When Frank Miller really soiled the relationship between Batman and Superman with his Dark Knight Returns in the mid 80s, to a point where later they patched things up, or they kind of changed that. But Batman and Superman, just because they're opposites, does not mean they should be enemies. And I grew up with them when I was a kid. They were best friends in a comic book called World's Finest. That's why they named this episode World's Finest.
Yep.
They're best buddies. Yep. Now again, in this, they're adversarial, but this is their first meeting. By the end, I know they like each other, and yet there's still stuff. We only see them together again on Justice League, and like there's a great episode of Justice League when they were in New Genesis with the New Gods or something, and Batman says to Wonder Woman, because Superman brought him there, and they were about to get blasted or something. If next time I let Superman make a decision, would you hit me or something? And yet. It was an earlier episode. Remember the one with Vandal Savage? It was a two-parter, forgetting the title, where they thought everyone thought Superman was dead. He was transported into the future, but everyone thought it was the beam that had killed him. Everyone but Batman.
Yep.
Batman wouldn't accept it, and like, wait a minute, he's supposed to be the one that doesn't care. Lois was pissed at him for not coming to the funeral. They had a funeral for for Superman, and Batman wouldn't go. I don't think he's dead. He wouldn't accept it. And I'm like, yeah, because they're friends.
Throw everything you want at Superman. Throw all the Luthor tech you can find. Throw Darkseid. Throw Doomsday. Throw everything you want at Superman. And at the end of the day, the most dangerous person in the world for Superman is Batman. And Superman knows that. If there's anybody that can really take me out and take me down, it's Batman. And he works side by side with him every day. And that's his best friend. That's his brother. And Bruce knows if there's anybody that could come close to taking down Superman and knowing all of his weaknesses, having a plan, having everything laid out perfectly to take him down, it's me. But he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it because they are best friends. And Superman would never, ever sell out to fucking Ronald Reagan. Suck my big fat white, you know what.
That's why I hate the way Superman is in that comic. I hate it.
Yeah. He would never sell out. And besides that thing, because I talked to my best friend about that before Batman versus Superman came out. I said, dude, because he's like, there's no way Batman could take out Superman. I said, no, there is. He's done it before. He did in Frank Miller's comic. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he has how does he do that? I said, he's got a suit and it's got kryptonite fucking weapons all over it. And he uses that suit to the best of his ability to kick the shit out of Superman. But in that, Superman's a prick. Superman sold out and went corporate. And I've been saying this more and more and more. The warning signs have been here all this time. We have had the warning signs. We have been warned. People are going to sell out, and they're going to sell out to corporations. And that's exactly what's happening today. Corporations are making all the fucking movies, and they're all a bunch of sellout. It's all sellout horseshit. Same thing with comic books. Comic books went so mainstream that it's all commercialism now. No one gives a shit about what the characters are supposed to be. No one gives a shit about the core of the characters, what they meant to people. It's just, oh, let's pander to this, and let's make money here, and let's make them this and that, and yada yada yada. It's all horseshit now. It's all corporate. We were warned by some of the greats. There's going to be sellouts, and they're going to be huge. And unfortunately, in Frank Miller's Batman Returns, Return of the Dark Knight, Superman's the sellout. Superman fucking sold out, and that would never happen. He would never sell out to Ronald Reagan. Yeah, boy, you need to tell all the boys and girls don't do drugs.
Yeah, that's why I hate all this stupid shit with the evil Superman trope. And in Elseworlds, it's okay at least, and that was in Elseworlds. It just wasn't called in Elseworlds. But that's that kind of stuff. I don't mind. You can do it as long as you're not doing it in regular continuity. But I'm not fond of it. Do it with a character that's a knockoff of Superman or an archetype. That's fine. It's been done many times. So these two, I'm sorry, they're really both Boy Scouts. This is Batman doesn't like to admit it.
Yeah.
Superman is the big blue Boy Scout. Batman is just as big a Boy Scout. He just needs his scary image, which he needs. Remember in Batman Mask of the Phantasm when he didn't have the costume yet? There was just only one thing wrong, Alfred. They weren't afraid of me. I got to strike fear in the beginning. Absolutely. Well, in this one,
and the bad boy playboy shit's all a mask. That's his mask. Bruce Wayne is not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Bruce Wayne is the mask that he goes out in public and wears, and it's like, oh, look at me. I've got two ladies on each arm and yada, yada, yada. That's the mask. When he puts the cowl on, that's his fucking face. That's him.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, if you look at the respect he has, I love the scene in the car where, you know, when Joker first, you know, meets Luthor, and they're talking about, you know, Luthor doesn't really know Batman. And so Joker's actually defensive of Batman when he says, you can't take out a mere mortal in a Halloween costume. And Joker goes off of, there's nothing mere about Batman.
That's right.
And yeah, he's like, yeah, easy for you to say, because you don't have, and then later even says you can't take out a lunatic in a fright mask. He's way more than that, and Joker understands that. That's why he's saying, hey, you know, with Batboy around, this is not going to work. I deserve more pay for this. I didn't know Batman was going to show up, and Luthor at this point doesn't really know to fear Batman until this one. Yeah. And he does. Batman puts the fear into him when he goes into his house, when he goes into his apartment, and he realizes that, just like in Kingdom Come, when there's a scene where old Bruce Wayne and old Luthor are talking, and it's kind of indicative of this. He's basically saying, I think they were arguing about something, but Batman was setting up the villains, and they didn't even know it. He was using Luthor in that, and they're much older now. And he says, well, now that we're doing business, I can let you know all my secrets. Batman said, I already know all your secrets, Lex. Because he does. He's Batman. That's and right. He's always 2 steps ahead of everyone else. And this is where Luthor first learns that. This episode opens up a bigger world in the DC animated universe.
Is it indicative of these 2 characters, the fact that Superman, Kal-El, is Kal-El. He is Kal-El. And that Clark Kent is his mask. It's how he is able to move around the metropolis. Clark Kent is the way Superman gets to move around as a mere mortal. That is his mask. The glasses. In the old days, it was like makeup too. He wore makeup and he wore disguise, and it was like a false nose, and it was more than what it is today. But Bruce is the exact same way. Bruce Wayne, he is Batman. Bruce Wayne is the playboy Bruce Wayne, the business mogul, all that shit. That's just the mask he wears to get away with being Batman. And Superman's the exact same way. The way Superman moves around with us mere mortals is Clark Kent. He uses Clark Kent as a way to be around mortals, where in reality, he is Kal-El of Krypton.
Although he was raised as Clark, though, so I've always thought of it slightly differently. That Clark was an escape from being the god. Yeah. And he was raised as Clark. But yes. And these characters should never be enemies, and they should never. Like Matches Malone comes out. Purple. Yeah, I love Matches Malone.
Yes.
And he used it again on Batman Brave and the Bold. Let's see here. Batman is the real persona because he won't allow himself to be Bruce Wayne. This code compels him to do it, so no one else suffers. Yeah, and remember, he didn't know his parents as long as Kal-El Clark knew his. He was raised as Clark. Bruce raised himself as Batman. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, the child Alfred helped. Alfred obviously took care of the boy Bruce Wayne, but yeah, obviously when he got to be a man, he's like, I'm going to do it, Alfred. I'm going to be a badass. And like you said earlier, they weren't afraid of me. And he figures out how to make them fucking be afraid of you. How am I going to make them afraid of me? I'm going to dress up like a bat, and you're going to think I'm telling you, man, a giant bat. Someone ought to tell those kids to quit drinking Drano. Yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah. Remember the episode of Justice League when they were all in disarray, the Justice League, and they weren't getting along. And Joker goes back to almost a sequel to this in a sense. Goes back to Luthor, and Luthor hates his guts at this point, but he talks him into helping him again. Actually, he talks him into starting the group, but he still won't let Joker come in. But he finally gets in with him, and they capture Batman. And Batman is captured the whole time, or is he? Mm-hmm. If you remember the episode, Batman is chained up in this thing, and Joker's constantly warning Luthor, "Don't underestimate him. Don't take your eyes off him. Don't put idiots watching him like Grundy and shit." And Batman, the whole time, chained up, manipulates the entire bunch of idiot villains. He controlled them all. That was one of the greatest episodes. That was true Batman right there, if you remember that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the Batman we're talking about. That's real Batman, not this sparkly vampire bullshit.
Right. See, that was without throwing. He did it with psychology. He beat the whole damn Injustice gang, the Legion of Doom before they became that, really, with psychology. And Joker kept warning him, and they didn't listen to him. And that was like the sequel to this, really. Because I think that's the only time Joker was on Justice League. No, he was on another one too with the Wild Cards. So yeah, Joker was on there a couple of times. So, and by the way, there's the thing. Well, how the hell did he survive that that wing explosion?
Oh, who knows?
Hey, Mr. Greg Gregory. He did because he's the Joker. He did it because he's the Joker. Greg Gregory, what's up, dude? And anyway, some of the stuff in that episode, I love how they painted the wing with the teeth, the smile. That was funny, and I love the scene where that was also pretty. That was pretty great Joker when he thinks he's about to blow up when all the bombs are about to go off, and just starts laughing. Almost similar to Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, when he thinks he and Andre Beaumont are about to blow up, and the whole place is going up in smoke. And he just starts laughing. We don't know how he got out of that either, by the way.
No, we don't. But he did, because he's the Joker, like you said.
He's the Joker. That's right. See, that's why idiots who make movies of these characters never understand. Tim Burton, I like the first Batman movie, don't get me wrong, with Michael Keaton. But Tim Burton has even been on record saying he only cares about the villains. He didn't really care about Batman that much. He proved it. But he didn't understand something. Joker falls off of that tower. I'm like, as soon as I saw that in the theater, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Joker's supposed to fall off into the water or something like that, and to be continued.
Yeah.
You don't drop him onto the pavement. It was so stupid. I was really annoyed by that. Now, again, your common everyday, normie or whatever, or even filmmaker who doesn't understand comics, what do you mean? No. Even in the Nolan, even Nolan, who I have a lot of problems with Christopher Nolan, the Joker gets caught at the end of Dark Knight. And he even has a very telling Joker-like language. I see us doing this forever. And that's what the Joker's supposed to be. It always comes back. More powerful than locomotive, and just about as subtle. Yeah. A lot of good lines in this one.
Absolutely. And, you talk about the way Batman uses psychology to, pretty much decimate the Legion before it's the Legion. That takes thought. And if you don't head into this writing something like this without putting the thought into it, you're not going to succeed. And that's kind of like what the problem is today. Instead of knowing who Batman is, knowing and understanding not just Batman, but whatever foe he's facing, you can come up with a pretty great story. If you don't care about that, you're not going to come up with a great story, because Batman doesn't just kick the shit out of people. Batman doesn't have guns on his damn Batmobile. Batman doesn't kill. Clubby said that over and over and over again.
The Batman does not kill. It was said in Mask of the Phantasm by Commissioner Gordon.
The Batman doesn't kill.
Because if Superman, he does, then he's no different from the Punisher. And then where's the fun in that? Let the Punisher do all the stupid killing.
That's right. And Superman's the exact same way. Superman does not kill. That shit we got at the end of Man of Steel, that is stool. That is my biggest. That and his dad dying completely fucked that movie for me. I was okay with some of it. I didn't like Krypton. I want snow and Crystal Spire Krypton. I want Fortress of fucking Solitude Krypton. That's what I want. I want Christopher Reeve's Krypton. That is what I want. When I see that, I want to see Marlon fucking Brando as Jor-El. Okay, I don't care if you have to fucking pay his family $100 million. You bring back Marlon Brando in digital form as Jor-El, and you have him standing there with that fucking light stick pointing at Zod and the rest of them, going, you're doomed. Fuck off. But neither one of them kill. These are not killers. That was like the big thing with Doomsday. That's what made that so important. Was Superman knew he's going to kill everyone in the city. He's going to completely destroy this city and kill everyone. I don't have a fucking choice. And he died doing it. He didn't have him by the neck. He wasn't trying to pull his head back with laser beams shooting out of his eyes. He fought him to the death.
Well, that's because Superman is a thinker too. Just like Batman is a thinker, Superman is a thinker. He can find, he doesn't have to kill. He finds ways not to.
That's
and
right.
Again, in a week, I think next week or so, I think a good fellow by the name of Max von Priestley and I, we're going to review the great last story of the Silver and Bronze Age Superman by Alan Moore, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. And there's a lesson in that one. It's the actual closure to the Superman that I grew up with and loved. I didn't want him ended, but if you can end him, you can't end him any better. And in that one, he pays the price. He is forced up against the wall. In other words, if you're going to write it where Superman has to kill, you better do it right. And then he punishes himself at the end of that story when he has to kill Mr. Mxyzptlk, who's this almost omnipotent being that's about to destroy everything. Not one dude about to burn down the Brady Bunch.
Yep.
We could have stopped. There are 15 different ways Superman, the real Superman, not this dolt with superpowers and a costume that looks like a body condom, he could have kept from having to kill that stupid Zod. But you mentioned that Dawn or Krypton. It took me a while to get used to that one. I love it, by the way. But it took me a while to get used to it because I kind of like the old Flash Gordon Krypton before that. But I do like it now, of course.
You know what? I know you probably don't like. I know you probably don't. I don't know how you feel about Smallville.
Not a fan.
There are you need to one thing. Go back to, I believe it's season 4, first episode of season 4, when he walks in the fortress, and it looks just like Christopher Reeve's fortress, and they play that music, da na 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 na, from when you see Krypton in the original Christopher Reeve's movie. They paid homage to that movie, and I will get little things like that make me love that. They cared enough to go, you know what? We're not just gonna do this. We're gonna do something that feels like it should, and we're gonna include Christopher Reeves in it. And Christopher Reeves is gonna come on and be on our show, and we're gonna honor him, and we're gonna honor that movie, and we're gonna honor the soundtrack to that movie. And even though that is some of the dumbest shit in DC, it's right up there with some of the dumbest shows they've got on today. There are moments of that show that to me are beautiful because they honored the original movie.
I just hate the whole no tights, no flight stuff. That's
I know.
not my Superboy.
I know.
It bores the living shit out of me. I understand because I've seen bits of that. By the way, it's easy, Valkyrie. It's Mxyzptlk.
Yep.
Not only that, I can say it backwards too. Kill Tip Zixum. And for my next trick,
I always said Mxyzptlk.
it's Mxyzptlk. So here you go.
Mxyzptlk.
Yep. Mix is Pitalik. See, there you go. If you look at it, you got to stop and look at it though, because people used to say Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, I always said Mxyzptlk. Mxyzptlk.
It takes. I don't know why it takes practice because this is a weird one. It's a weird one, isn't it? Let's see here. Now, was it Oliver asks Clobby, so Loki, which was the most dreadful movie that made Superman break his moral code? Snapping General's neck. Well, it's not really Superman to me. He's Man of Steel. And or Superman punching the chest on Joker.
That's not Superman.
That's not Superman either. That's Justice. So Injustice, right?
Injustice.
So neither for me, and this is just a personal decision, Oliver. That doesn't count as Superman for me. So both are bad. I mean, I think both are terrible.
That movie, that new animated movie, Injustice, that is fucking terrible. I like that comic book series. I really do. I like it so much that I went and I bought the damn graphic novels of them. I like it that much that I spent the money on it. What you got in that movie is a million times worse than you get in those books. He okay, I'm just gonna say it. If anybody hasn't seen it, I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw a spoiler out here.
Go
The
for
movie's
it.
been out long enough.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go.
He kills children.
Oh, screw that garbage.
He kills a
You mean in the
fucking
movie
building.
or both?
In the movie. I don't remember. He didn't do this in the book. There was some other shit that happened in the book, but literally, he kills this warehouse full of kids partying. He just fucking heat visions them all to death.
Wow.
He unleashes his heat vision. He cuts them all down. And do you know what stops him? Do you know what fucking stops him at the end of all this? They bring a different Lois Lane who is pregnant into his reality.
From another universe.
And he gets down on his knees and just gives up.
That's a movie that they did? That new movie?
This is the end of the Injustice movie. They bring a pregnant Lois Lane from an alternate universe whose Superman died fighting Doomsday.
Wow. That is disgusting.
And she's like, what have you done? What have you done to yourself?
That's disgusting.
And she's like, I lost my Superman, but I'm not a total piece of shit. And he's like, here, take me away, Batman. I'm a piece of shit. And dude, fucking Wonder Woman's like, we have to take control of the world, and we have to, and she does that in the book. She does that in the book. But when she finds out that Superman killed a whole fucking warehouse full of kids, she's like, fuck you, you piece of shit, and dumps him. That never happens. That never happens in the book. Wonder Woman is by his side through thick and thin, encouraging him to take over the world. We have to show these mortals who their fucking masters are. That's what she is like in the book. She is with him every step of the way and even encourages him to do some of the evil shit he does because it's the way to keep the world safe. That's in the books. She is not like that. She turns on him and rejects him and basically calls him like a piece of trash. I should have never followed you. That never happens in the books.
That's disgusting. And I'm glad you told me. I would never watch it anyway, but man, that is absolute filth. That makes me angry.
For a fan of the book, I fucking hated it. And Klobby doesn't like that shit. I liked it because I was like, okay, I can deal with this. It's an alternate reality. And our Superman comes in and beats the shit out of him. So I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Our Superman comes in, saves the day, and is like, what the hell are you doing,
I saw a
bitch?
scene where someone looked like real Superman was beating the crap out of a shitty evil one.
Yes.
That
does happen.
A scene of it. But
that does happen.
That's good, but if they have that Superman being that horrible, see, I hate evil Superman trope in every single way. In short of, his mind is being controlled, and even that I don't like it. But that's one thing. That's just a bad trope for me that I despise. And wow. Jeffrey Wilkinson says,
bad.
I heard that Mr. Mixus-Pidlick is the Impossible Man from Marvel. Well, actually, he was created long before Impossible Man, buddy. But and Impossible Man's not there to cause trouble. He thinks he's just well-intentioned. Mixus-Pidlick's a little shit who's, yes, he's just causing mischief, but
there's a really good dynamic in the books that goes on between Batman and he kills Arrow too. He kills the Green Arrow. Green Arrow shoots an arrow, obviously, at Superman. He deflects it and it hits Jonathan Kent.
Oh my
and
God.
He fucking straight up kills Green Arrow. He just vaporizes his ass.
What Slimebag wrote this? I mean, what a sick individual wrote this crap.
And that doesn't happen in the book either. I think he takes his either he kills him or he takes his arm off. I can't remember which, but it's not It's so over the way they wrote it, and they even bring in some shit that never happened. A whole bunch of this in this movie never happens. The Flash dies. Um, the dude that takes on who's the guy that runs the League of Assassins?
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul comes in and works with Superman, and Superman works with him. Like that shit never happened. That happened. That it was the Yellow Lantern, Green Lantern's archenemy.
Sinestro.
Sinestro, thank you. Sinestro comes in and makes a deal with Superman, and is like, "I will help you. I will help you and defend you against the Green Lantern Corps." That's what happens in the book,
Wow.
and I could kind of understand that. And Clark gets a ring. Superman gets a ring, so he's not only got all his power, but he's got a yellow ring that he's using too, and becomes a Sinestro Corps Superman. It's completely crazy in the books. But then this was just bad.
These animated movies, it's interesting that you mentioned, because that's one of the latest DC animated movies, and we're talking about DC animation tonight. They've gotten so bad. It's worse and worse. For example, people, and again, coming from people who like the original stories, Gotham by Gaslight, they changed the ending.
They screwed it up.
Terrible ending. I heard that they screwed up Red Sun. They screwed up the Judas contract horribly by not using the real Teen Titans in that one.
Red Sun is all about how bad the United States is compared to how wonderful Russia is. And that's not the way the book is. I've read the book.
It's a good comic. I mean, it's a good Elseworlds. But they've taken, even from Millar, because Millar's weirdo. He writes really sick shit unless he's writing Superman. He loves Superman, which is kind of weird. Mark Millar is a nihilist and a nut who created Kick-Ass and all this other stuff, and yet he loves Superman, the pure Superman. It's weird, but it's kind of a strange thing. But wow, dude, there have been a few of these DC animated movies of the past few years that have adapting classic stories, like the ones we just mentioned, and they totally screwed them up.
Yes,
there are a couple of those stories I would like to see adapted now. I wouldn't. Before, they did a good job adapting. Like I heard Hush was terrible too. I didn't watch it.
Hush was terrible.
They adapted Batman Year One. They did a decent job on that.
They did.
Read Batman Under the Red Hood. Justice
the
League
Death in the Family. Death in the Family was absolutely badass. If you have a chance to watch Death in the Family, and that is because it was based off of the Red Hood, and it's got scenes from the Red Hood movie in it. So it's like, it's a whole bunch of alternate takes of what could have happened when Jason Todd, with what happened with Jason Todd. Either he's saved, Batman dies. There's all sorts of alternate scenes that you see, and it's all taken from that movie. So that's like the one recent one besides part one, and I don't even count part one of Long Halloween anymore because it ends up being shitty.
God,
but terrible. that's the one movie that came out recently from DC Animated Studios I absolutely love. But of course, it's based on something that came out when they were doing really good work.
Well, again, most of these animated films they do are based on some comic. Now, the past few years before they were doing a lot of Screw 52, and since I hate Screw 52, I don't bother. But they took the Judas contract, one of the classic New Teen Titans stories by Wolfman and Perez, and they adapted it with Screw 52 Titans. I was like, I don't want to see that shit. Screw you. They did the same guys who did this thing we're talking about right now, World's Finest, the Timverse guys. They did the Justice League and Fatal Five, and I was really excited about that one, even though the Fatal Five are a Legion of Superheroes group. It looked like this, and yet I can't stand Jessica Cruz, and it only used a few characters, and it was a disappointment. Everything they do now of the new, like Batman Long Halloween, like you said, we reviewed them both. The second part is so bad that it makes the bad stuff in the first part even worse now, and I don't even like the first part anymore. And I thought the first part was pretty good, except for that horrible line we always talk about in it. And now I don't even care about the first part anymore because you just didn't finish it, and it just should be called Catwoman: The Long Halloween.
Yeah,
it's so terrible. It's so disgusting. It's like, you guys just need to cut it out and stop making these movies, because like some of the shorts are still pretty good. I love the Blue Beetle short and the Commandy short they did, and the older ones they did like Spectre and Jonah Hex and stuff. But they just need to cut it the hell out, because They don't even try anymore. Look at all the good ones: Justice League New Frontier, Justice League Doom, Justice League, even Crisis on Two Earths was pretty good. Superman versus the Elite, I loved.
Oh yeah, I love Superman versus the Elite.
That one, dude, was right
He
around the
scares
same
the
time.
shit out of them. I love that
It
because
was
he's like,
beautiful.
"You have no idea what I am," and you're like, "Oh, y'all done fucked up now."
You know, it was incredible what he did to those guys. But the thing is, there's a scene in there that was Tim Daly doing the voice in that one, right? I think it, or
I'm
was it
pretty
George?
sure it was
Him or
I
George
think it was
Newborn?
Tim Daly.
May have been Tim Daly. And there's
I'll
a
tell
scene
you in
where
a second.
this was at this point that basically they're the Authority, but they're called something else. The Elite has made
Yeah.
everyone excited because these are heroes that are ultra violent. They were killers. They killed people instead of just arresting them, and the whole world was going nuts for them. We want heroes that'll just murder people. And Clark is talking to Lois, reading a letter. Now he's reading a quote from some kid. They're talking about that was taking how great the Elite was. Says it would be fun to kill a bad guy, and there's this scene where Clark, he's almost in tears talking to Lois. It's fun to kill. When did we become this? That a young boy is looking at these people who are being supposed to be examples, and he's saying it would be fun to kill. That's antithetical to what Superman is all about.
It was George Newborn.
Okay, he did him on Justice League.
Yeah.
And that was Superman. I remember right when Man of Steel came out. Superman Elite was a little bit before that, and part of my ridiculous epic review that pissed off a whole lot of people. In my review, I mentioned that, and I said someone should have showed Hack Snyder this movie if he wanted to learn what Superman was all about. I mean, it's not that it's the greatest Superman story ever or anything, but it's because it's Superman fighting nihilism, and it's all about that. Superman versus Elite is about what Superman stands for. It was based on a comic book called "What's So Funny About the Truth, Justice, and the American Way" by Joe Kelly. So it was an adaptation also, and it was really good. And I'm saying, if you have any doubt on what Superman stands for, watch this. It's all about that.
And it comes down to you forget just how badass he really is. I mean, okay, there's so many I'm going to rescue a kitten out of a tree moments, but then there's something like this, Superman versus the Elite, and you're like, God, I love how fucking badass he is. And now he scares the shit out of them. They're like, we hit him with everything. We hit him with everything we got. No way he's still standing. And he's like, oh, I'm more than just still standing. And you're like, oh,
that was a great scene, dude. Great. I love that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And this Superman and Batman that we're looking at here that went on to be on the Justice League, Layman. We're not allowed to talk about animation according to Steve. We're talking about an animated movie, but not animation per se. But okay. How you doing, Loki Layman? My name is Clobby Layman.
Yes, Loki Layman. Clobby
okay.
Layman.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Clobby Layman.
What's up, Steve, brother? What's you doing? He's just being mean. So that's okay. My feelings are hurt or anything like that. My feelings are pretty fragile. No. Anyway, listen, Hack Snyder doesn't know Superman the same way Hack Berlanti and Hack Dries.
Oh, we know, Steve. We know
don't
you're
know.
Teasing. That's why we were teasing back. We know you're teasing.
You're not teasing. You're just mean. No. And we're nice. He's a very good friend. He's animating right now. I'm animated right now about how shitty the DC current animation movies are. But again, we talked a lot about how I'm pissed off so often about Superman the animated series when he's too weak and stuff. And then on Justice League, Alex Ross, who was a total shit and a jagoff. I love his work, but as a person, he's a scumball. But he got onto Bruce Timm and talked about he said, you guys are just making Superman too much of a wuss. I'm tired of it. And he had some kind of clout. He was Alex Ross. They knew him.
Yeah.
Well, they started fixing it a little bit. And remember that last episode of Justice League Unlimited when he cuts loose on Darkseid?
Yeah.
He says, I want to thank you for giving me a rare opportunity. I have to walk around and treat the world, basically holding back all the time because the world's so fragile. But now I finally get that cut loose, and he beat the living crap out of him. and it was beautiful. And there's also a scene, just throw a little great Batman stuff in there, when Darkseid shoots the Omega beams at Batman, and Batman dodges it, and Darkseid says, no human being, no being has ever dodged an Omega beam. Nobody but Batman.
Don't take any shit, boys. Don't take any shit. And it's sad that it's all shit at the moment. And we're going to get our heroes back. We will get our heroes back. Whether DC loses the rights to them, whether they sell the rights, whether Disney goes under, whatever happens, we're going to get our heroes back. We will. And it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. But I know there are creative content creators out there that will pick up the pieces one day. They have to.
I guess it could happen, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to hold out that much hope for it, but if it does, and someone tells me, hey, here I am, like, if I'm 70 years old on my, in the old folks' home, because, it probably won't take me long to get into one of those. And someone says, they're actually doing good comics with your favorite superheroes again. I'm going to go, bring some over for me to read, Sonny. I'd like to see those. Oh, you can just go online and get them now. There's no paper comics anymore. Okay.
Yeah, there's no paper comic.
Yeah. But you know what?
God help us.
This thing, again, I think this episode only suffers from probably needing to be a 4-parter. And like I said, a couple of the things that I had some issues with, the Bruce Lois relationship. It's not that it's bad. It's almost as awkward as the Bruce Diana relationship on Justice League, but at least they dealt with that a little bit more. This was one and done. It was a couple of days. So it was kind of curious, but you could see it from Lois's standpoint. She was having, she was trying to move on from Superman, and she just latched on to the nearest guy, the mortal that was as close to somebody like that as she could find, I guess.
Yep.
So that was okay, but Bruce, I don't know what he was. Well, I mean, Bruce was just, I don't know. She's hot.
Being a playboy, just being Bruce.
I guess.
So one of the things and this is a little off topic, but just so people can kind of know what this means to me. I watched my grandfather go through a lot of shit right before he died. And one of the things he did was he constantly had things like, what was it? The Scarlet Pimpernel, the Three Musketeers, all these old movies, all these old like swashbuckling adventure movies, Robin Hood, stuff like that. The really old stuff. And he'd have it on repeat constantly. He'd be watching the same set of stuff. Having turned 42 the other day, and now having the access to all the knowledge of life, the universe, and everything.
Yes.
One day, on my deathbed, I will be watching this. And I will be watching the other great animated DC movies. Probably some Lord of the Rings thrown in there. But this movie will be one of those movies. Why? Because I love seeing Batman and Superman kick ass together. I would love it even more if Wonder Woman was there. The Istphobe Yahtzee, Stone Loki, would love to have Whammon representation as Wonder Woman. But this will be one of those movies.
That's a good point, Michael Beacom, but she seemed to move on for a few minutes there and then was right back with it. Yeah, so I hear you. No, you're right, dude. So, what would you give as a rating? If we, because yes, it's 3 episodes, but it's a movie also.
I'd give it an 8, 8.5. An 8, 8.5. It's not perfect, but it makes me smile. It makes me laugh. I love seeing Tim Daly or hearing Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy kick ass together and do this. Mark Hamill is absolutely fucking badass as the Joker. He is my Joker. There is no other Joker in my opinion. As radical as that may be for some of you Heath Ledger fans out there. I like Heath Ledger as the Joker. I thought he was a great Joker, but Mark Hamill is my Joker. He's my number 1. You are my number 1. And Clancy Brown plays an excellent Lex Luthor. He's got terrific. The voice. He's terrific. So you've got a kick-ass cast here, and they all work well together. And having Dana Delaney back as Lois Lane, Absolutely wonderful. I immediately was like, "Oh, it's Andrea Beaumont! Holy shit, that's Andrea Beaumont!" I'd never realized that before. I
Oh,
never
really? Okay.
really, I did not know that she was Andrea Beaumont. Mercy, played by Lisa Edelstein. If you don't know who that is, she was on the show called House. Bob
Oh,
Hastings, Commissioner Gordon.
yeah,
He is
buddy.
Commissioner Gordon. I mean,
And you know who
you
else he
know,
was? I told you last time who else he was, right?
who else was he?
He was Superboy in the old Filmation of the
Yes,
60s.
yes. It's like Robert Constanza as Harvey Bullock. I you know it's all these people that came together and didn't just do a series. They weren't just in a series. They were in multiple series, and they
Who,
keep coming back to do more.
who did the voice of Turpin? Almost,
Joseph Bologna.
really? Because
Yeah,
you know, again, Turpin. I got to find a picture of him. Yeah, because Turpin, like I said, you know who he is, right? I mean, I was telling you, he's Jack Kirby,
yeah, he's Jack Kirby.
and I mean, it's just blatant too. Turpin, and then did you ever see the episode of Superman animated series where he got killed? They did it as a tribute to Kirby.
Really?
Yeah, and there's even like there's a scene where there's after it where they showed a couple of people, like a bunch of comics people were kind of in the scene, and later at the end they dedicated to Jack Kirby. They dedicated the episode to him.
Wow.
But let's see. I was going to find a picture because it was that way on the old comic, but on the show it was really. I mean, it was really. Look, there he is. Yeah, I got a picture of him. I got to share it because it's just wow. Since this is a big week for Jack. Well, not actually, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at him, and it's just wow. It's just, and he's a guest sort of. He was on a pretty good bit of episodes, but yeah.
Yeah.
There he is.
Did Darkseid kill him?
Yep. Or he died in that episode anyway. But there you go.
Wow.
For Jack, folks. For Jack. Yeah. What's up, Phantom Outsider? Good to see you, buddy. So I'd give it like an 8 as well, just because even with all whatever the like criticisms or flaws I thought it might have, I just there are too many great scenes in it to really hurt it that much, because you're getting to see them together for the first time working in action. They team up, all that stuff. But you just mentioned all these, not just Superman and Batman. That's great in and of itself. But you've got Joker and Luthor. All those scenes are, and with Harley and Mercy. Those scenes are gold. Every scene in this thing. Like I said, I criticize certain nitpicky elements of it, but every scene is pretty much gold in this one because you're seeing things you want to see. You're getting to see Batman and Superman together for the first time. The scene where Batman throws Superman is classic. The scene when he holds up the little bitty piece of kryptonite doesn't take much, does it? All these scenes with them together, and when they're not together, you're getting the Joker and Luthor together. It's really just extremely entertaining and thoroughly entertaining. I remember getting really excited about this when it first aired. And I've watched it a number of times since. In fact, when you and I decided to do this, I watched it like not too long, a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And then today I watched it right before we come here. I watched it again.
Absolutely.
It's thoroughly entertaining. And I could not recommend this one enough. Let's see. What was that? Let's see here. Hello, Jeffrey. What are your thoughts on Daredevil Devil Reign story that's dropping soon? Is that going to be a movie anytime soon? If so, do you think that they'll butcher it like DC? Well, I don't read any current stuff, so I have no thoughts on that one. I love Daredevil. In fact, recently I did on my Monday Night Comics show, I did a show about the pre-Miller Daredevil. I'm going to do some more Daredevil shows soon. I love Daredevil. I hope they don't. I could just tell you this: if that's a story that you like, Jeffrey, pray they don't make it, because if they do adapt it, it's going to be ruined. Just like they will butcher it the same way DC butchers everything they do. That's just an opinion. Could be wrong. You never know, Jeffrey, but I think they will.
Ending that ending that TV series was the worst thing they ever did.
Yeah, and that I love that show. Even
Yeah.
the third season had some faults. I just recently deep dived on it again at the first time since it since it first aired, and it's just especially those first two seasons are gripping. And they say that Charlie Cox is going to make an appearance in Spider-Man.
God, why?
Coming out. And there's the thing. Not like Daredevil. Not like we're going to get to see a Daredevil scene. It's going to be Charlie Cox for 3 seconds, probably.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I'm calling it now. Those of you excited about Tobey Maguire or what's to say Garfield being there, it'll be like 4 seconds. Also, it'll be like they'll pop in for 2 minutes and go, "Oh, see, they're back." Yeah, okay, whatever. Just saying, but that's beside the point. What would you like? What DC animated film should we do next? We want to do Public Enemies?
Let's do Public Enemy. I love Public Enemy. The way they fight in that animated movie, it's like, okay, if you imagine Superman and Batman training for all these years to do team up moves and shit, how are we going to use our abilities together in a fight? They show you exactly how they're going to use their abilities together in a fight in that movie.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Oliver. It was a 2-part Superman episode, Apocalypse Now, where that was great, by the way, where Darkseid kills Detective Turban within a Mega Beam. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. And that was some good stuff. But yes, Public Enemies will be next month or whenever you want to do it. If you want to do it before that, just let me know when you want to do it. But next month is fine. Either way. Superman, Batman, Public Enemies is your homework assignment for next month, kids.
Why don't we do it at the end of this month?
That's fantastic.
We've got it. We've got a last day on the 30th of November. 30th is a Tuesday. So that is 4 weeks from now.
Sure, that'd be great, dude.
That way we can get one in around Christmas time too. After right before New Year or something.
I was thinking maybe we should do New Frontier eventually.
Oh hell yes.
I have some issues with it, but I love it. Again, you can have it, and you can have issues with something and still love it, obviously. And I love that. So the 30th, tentatively, we're just talking of it right now. It'll be on Loki's channel, everyone. For those who are not familiar with it, it's called Superman Batman, one or the other. Public Enemies, kind of based on the Ed McGuinness art, and it is also adapted from a comic like everything else is.
And it's kick-ass. I can't wait to I can't wait to review it again.
I just watched that not too long ago, and I can't wait to watch it again. It was really good.
Oh yeah, I went through my Batman Superman Blu-rays, and believe it or not, it's really amazing. You get that anniversary Batman set, it's in there. You get the anniversary Superman set, guess what? It's in there too.
Nice. Got them both. So, dude, tell everyone what you got going on, and then I'll do a few show notes, and we'll wrap it up, buddy.
We have got a Women of the Fandom coming up tomorrow. We're going to have Louise Sparrow on for Women of the Fandom. We just got our Teespring store back up. We've got glass tumblers. We've got backpacks. Bad Girls Go to Valhalla wear. All kinds of stuff we've been working on that we finally got everything back up and running. We've got a show coming up Thursday and Thursday night. Thursday morning will be Thirsty Thursday. Thursday night will be the horror show with Doctor of Disaster and Destruction and author Adeg Outlaw. And then Friday we're to wrap stuff up, and it's going to be a crazy weekend. So that's pretty much what I've got going on.
And both of the greatest wrenches in the universe.
Thank you.
K, Chris Persia, both. There is the link. And of course, there's a link in my description below for many other fine YouTube channels that both Loki and I are friendly with. And please check them all out and sub to all of them. We'd appreciate you doing that. And we appreciate you all being here with us tonight. Tomorrow night, Eternals weeks at least starts on a good note. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Jack Kirby's Eternals, in other words, the real Eternals. The comic book reviewed by myself, the great Mark D with the C, and we think Nick Weiser might join us. All 19 issues and the annual will be reviewed. And because because of what's coming after that, we would like to have a little fun, something good to talk about. And so, yeah, looking forward to that. Let's see here. Then, of course, the Global Geek Gang shall gather Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll gather, put it that way. Then an hour later than usual, Clobby's Clubhouse with my wonderful first officer Raquel and my great chief engineer, the great Mark D with a C, doing our usual thing. It'll be we'll both probably be dead, Mark and I, because we've just been sat through we will not be eternal. We will be external probably. But we will just have seen that. And so I guess maybe we'll just bother Raquel with our reviews of it. But the actual review will be a special Clobbering Times movie review with the great Mark D with the C and our great buddy J-Man, perhaps his buddy Sean, and maybe Nick Weiser will join us. I know it if Loki wants to stop in and hang with us. If you subject yourself to that, pal, of course. You are always you have an open door here anytime. Just let me know. And but that's what we're going to suffer through. That will be 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Friday night. So, and of course, Saturday night Star Trek, as always, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, thank you all so much for being here. What a wonderful crowd we have. The wonderful, and the magnificent, and the beautiful Purple Valkyrie was here. We had a lot of ladies here tonight. Sherry, love you, Sherry. Thank you for being here. Louis Sparrow. And we had Eris. We love you, Eris, and congrats on those 500 subs there. And we're only mentioning the ladies tonight because we don't really care about you other mugs. No, I'm just kidding. Kiwi Chow, Roll Tide, thank you. The great Chris Persia, the great Eric K. Appreciate you guys. Minimus, there's Minimus is here. Let's see who else was here. Hungry Boy, buddy, thank you. As always, a pleasure, and as always, thank you for the clawbony. We appreciate you, man. Stuart Mitchell, Dolly had braces, never forget. And let's see here. Who else was here? Jeffrey Wilkins, thank you for popping in. We appreciate you. Garrett. Oh, here we go. We got a super chat. Eric K says, newsflash, Clobby Eternals review would have been better with Wesley in the movie.
Skull, Eric.
Well, it's funny you say that because here we go. Attention, everyone, at the Clobbering Times news desk. Attention, everyone. News flash coming through right now through the ticker tape. This is Walter Concrotch approaching. What? Do I have to wake up? Dan Rather's busy. So here we go. Yes, Walter Concrotch reporting from I don't even know where I am anymore. Oh my God, I just watched Eternals and I can't even. Oh well. Wesley sucks. Repeat. Wesley sucks. More later. Thank you. Oh yeah. Wesley sucks. Thank you, everyone. Go away now. As what's his name?
Clobber, this is Peter Whalen, and if you're hearing this, I died watching the Eternals. Thank you and good night.
Sadly enough, I was not eternal. Kal-El, thank you, buddy, for being here tonight. We appreciate you. Let's see who else was here. I'm trying to forget. I try to forget everyone, but you're not forgettable. So there you go. I mean, I try to remember everyone. Oliver, thank you so much. Oliver Belmonte, the great Steve Mitchum. Phantom Outsider, brother. Hope you're feeling better, man. Get well soon, bud.
Oh yeah, brother.
And Michael Beacom, thank you so much, my friend. Great to see you. I don't have all the names on there because they kind of Ironcaster, brother. All right, good to see you, man. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Tomorrow, I forgot to announce, yes, tomorrow, my new Clobby's Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine video is launching at 5:30 or 5 or Central or something like that. How should I know? I only made it and programmed it. That's not like I know when it's going to happen or anything because I forgot. How about that? But thank you so much. And again, a big. Look, Amanda Gillen Presents popped in.
Hello, Amanda.
It's an honor to see you here. It's great to see you.
And don't forget to get your Clobbering Times condoms. That way you too can be a big dog and say it's clobbering time.
It's better saying it's condiment times. Dude, I want to thank you so much for being here. And everyone, big shout out to the great Stone Loki for hanging out with me tonight, and give him a round of applause for what you're about to see, this intro, outro that he made specially for this show. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
It's time to clobber on Clobbering Times. Like and share, or I'll be back.
It's clobbering time.